You can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, we have 5 elements and we cover 3 elements already. So today I'm going to start element 5. After element 5, tomorrow we will continue with element 4. This element 5 maybe take 2 days because it's important and interesting also. It covers many things, inspections, audits, procedures. There are many things in this element. So after that we will cover element 4. Okay. So let's we start
Okay.
our element 5 today. Management of international health and safety management. Management of international health and safety. Management of internal health and safety procedures. Element 5, health and safety management system. This is about measuring, audit and review. What do you mean by measuring? By measuring mean we are checking or we are identifying that is the training or the OHSMS system is effective or no. So checking the effectiveness of the system is known as measuring. This is the type of audit and this is review already. So what we learn in this element outline the principles, purpose and roles of active and reactive monitoring. We will learn how what is active and what is reactive monitoring, explain the purpose of and procedures of health and safety auditing. What is the purpose, what is the procedure of audit, explain the purpose of and procedure for investigating incidents, describe the legal and organizational requirement for recording and reporting incidents, explain the purpose of and procedure for regular review of health and safety performance. We are going to discuss all these things in this element. So here on element 5.1 is active and reactive monitoring. Active monitoring, I just explain you in simple words what you are doing to avoid any incident. That is active monitoring. Any measures taken by the organization, taken by the employer or by the management to avoid incident, to make the workplace safe are known as active monitoring. For example, ensure health and safety standards are correct and being met before accidents are caused. So inspections, regular work inspections, feedback from the employees, inspections, audits, surveys. These are the types of active monitoring. We are doing this to ensure that the implementation of health and safety procedures or the legal requirements are met on site to save the incident. And what are the reactive or proactive monitoring? Using accident, incident and ill health data to highlight areas of concern. This technique we are using by using the accident incident records like the first aid cases. For example, in first quarter of 2022 we find out that what is the rate of first aid cases, how much first aid cases and which type of first aid cases. Is it hand injury, is it foot injury or what type of injury. So using that data to avoid the recurrence of the same incidents, accident or first aid cases is known as proactive or reactive monitoring. So performance standards, conformance or non-conformance with standards, number and quality of risk assessment, health and safety trainings to schedule, like what is our schedule for 2022 for health and safety trainings, and consultative committee meetings to schedule workplace inspections to schedule, like what and how we inspect or how we make a schedule for a workplace inspection. It's quarterly, yearly, weekly, whatever the schedule as per the work requirement. So we have some systematic inspections like plant and equipment, premises, workplace environment, access, egress, people's interviewing. This is also a type of inspection. We check their behavior, we find out their problems. And examination procedures, safe system, method statements, permit to work. These all are the procedures which we are examining during the inspection. Safety inspection, sampling, tours and surveys. Safety inspection, examination of workplace, statutory inspections, plant and machinery, pre-use checks. These are the types of safety inspections. Like prior to start the work, prior to commence the work at site, we are going and checking the safety of the workplace. Like is there appropriate access available, is for the excavation the soil testing is done and the barriers are provided, the permit to work is followed, the plant and equipment are well maintained and inspection lists are available, the daily checklist is available, third party certified, the operator is competent. We are checking these. This is a type of safety inspections. Then safety sampling, representative sample examples to judge compliance, less time consuming. Yeah, this is less time consuming. So what we are doing in this, we are not doing each and everything inspection, but we are just checking one or two items. We just check the plant area and we forget all our areas, and from the plant area we assess that how the organization is doing, is the safety, if we suppose that if standards are followed in plant, it means standards are followed in everywhere, but it gives a wrong judgment sometimes. Then safety survey, detailed examination of one issue topic. Safety tour, high profile inspection. Safety tour by when the managers, the senior managers, the project management team, they are joining for safety inspection, that is known as safety tour. So other standards, health surveillance, monitoring workers' health, a proactive measure. We need to check that they are fit to work. There are some legal requirements in UAE. It's required by OSHA that all operators and heavy equipment drivers, they must have health surveillance, that is from a registered practitioner, medical practitioner, a physician. Okay, so this shows the effectiveness of control, and this is a proactive, this is a active monitoring or active measure to control the workplace. Then we have benchmarking, comparison to other organizations. Benchmarking means we are comparing with other organizations which are good in health and safety standards. Can compare between two sectors. Then workplace inspections, when we are going to inspect the workplace, these factors we need to count: type of inspection, frequency of inspection, allocation of responsibilities, competence of the inspector. What is the competency? Is he have enough experience? Is he competent to ensure to check the workplace? Suppose a person, he spent his 10 years of working in a construction project, and suddenly they send him to inspect a power plant. So for sure he don't have an idea. He can inspect in general, but he don't have a deep idea to dig the problems in deep, because he is not aware about the procedure, about the tools, equipments, their safety and their protocols in the plant, in the power plant. So this shows, this is the type of competence of inspector. So we need to ensure that every inspector who is going to inspect the site, he must have adequate experience for the same. Then he can be a competent inspector. Then objectives of the inspector, what is his objective? What is the purpose of inspecting the site? Use checklist. Yeah, he can have some developed checklist. So when he enter in the workplace, he can check on the checklist item number 1 to 10. Yeah, this is provided, this is provided, this is not provided. That is a checklist. Then action planning for problems found. Problems found. Then he develop a action. Then he gave a solution, like this is a problem. The problem is safe access to excavation is not available on the site. Then he write the action required. The action required: provide safe access, provide the identifications of the access, provide adequate signages to identify the access, provide adequate training, provide adequate supervision. Like this, he give his requirement, like these are the actions need to be done for the to close out that observation. Then example of safety system, bank head office. Yeah, we are just discussing this as an example. In a bank head office, the purpose is to monitor health and safety standards. Frequency monthly. Yeah, because in the bank there is no big plant and equipments being used, there is no work ongoing, there is no chemicals used, so monthly inspection for the head office is fine. But if it's a workplace, like we have infrastructure, we have building construction, we have power plant, we have chemical storage, then inspection must be daily. Then persons responsible management at different levels. Competence 1 day course. Yeah, in 1 day we can give, if we give 1 day training to one person, like what he have to check in the bank head office building, 1 day training is enough for him. Inspection checklist, we can give him a checklist, that this is the checklist and you need to follow the checklist, and then he can do the job more efficiently. Follow up arrangements, that is the action plan, like after his observations, what he observed, he need to give a follow up action plan. And use of checklist, the checklist have benefits and demerits as well. The advantages are it ensure all points covered, consistent approach, form of written record. It is easy to check. He can write just tick, available, not available, yes or no. It's easy, it's less time consuming, it's a written record. But on the same time, it's a demerit that when a person he is using checklist, he is not using his mind on some other factors. Maybe on the time of developing the checklist, some points are missing, so they will keep missing from the checklist. In this way, he cannot cover that. Here we have group activity. In groups, list the topic heading that should be included in on an inspection checklist for use in your workplace. Design a rough format for the inspection checklist. Guys, this is your assignment for today. Everyone have to develop a checklist. I am just giving you a scenario. You are going to check you are going to check a workplace where vehicles maintenance like garage work is going on. You need to develop a checklist. You need to develop on a paper with pen like serial number, observation. You can write that slip, trip or falls, improper cable management, lack of identification like that, and then action required. On the third column, action required, and the fourth column you need to mention the time, like up to which time this has to be done. This is your assignment for tomorrow. Everyone have to do that and send me in WhatsApp. Okay, here we are talking about workplace inspections, the fire safety inspection, housekeeping. These are the typical topics. Environment issues, traffic routes, is the segregate walkway available for employees, for pedestrian and vehicles? The chemical safety, are the chemicals are stored properly? Machinery safety, electrical safety, welfare facilities. These all are the types of general, these are general topics which are available on every workplace. Allocation of resources, inspections must follow through into action. So here we have like action required: repair damaged fire extinguisher bracket. Then we need to mention the person or the organization or the team, maintenance technician or maintenance team. Then we need to give a due date by whatever, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, as per the type of observation and the nature of observations. So, what is effective report writing? The report style should be formal, free of jargons, like we must not use some abbreviations. We must use facts, actual site condition, actual workplace condition. It should be clear and concise, and like it should be specific. So, structure: executive summary, introduction, main body, recommendation, conclusion. This should be the structure. On the start of the page, on the start of the inspection report, we should write executive summary like, on 22 April 21, a site inspection carried out to identify the health and safety issues on the site. The parties, we can say X and Y, the representatives of parties X and Y are decided that this inspection or these issues will be closed as soon as possible or as per the given time frame. So, sorry. So then we have content. Like in content, we should write start the significant findings, like something serious, something which we cannot ignore, something which we feel that it need to be addressed at earliest or as soon as possible. Then we need to provide the evidence of the findings. What should be the evidence? The record, the piece of paper, or the photographs, pictures of the organization. Then we need to give a justified recommendations. Yeah, we need to give recommendations like moral, legal, and economic arguments, action plan. Like what are the reasons to fix these issues, the moral reason, the legal reason, the economic reason, and the action plan for that. So this here is an example, the recommendation action, TD the office. Like in office, they find that everywhere there is a mess. The files are scattered here and there. Then they give priority. It's a medium risk. Time scale 1 week. Who is responsible? Office supervisor. This is a type of workplace inspection. Guys, you are listening and understanding it? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just hold on for a minute. Give me 1 minute, then I will continue. Yes, gentlemen, sorry for delay. So here we have reactive monitoring. Reactive monitoring dealing with things that went wrong. This type of monitoring, because as I told you, we are using the accident, incident records, the data, the trends. We are making trends like why incidents happened or which type of incidents happened, number of first aid cases, number of lost time injuries. When we are checking these, that is a reactive monitoring. From that we can identify that this organization is following health and safety standards or no. Like suppose we have two organizations, organization X and organization Y, and for the first quarter of 2021 the organization X have 10 incidents or 10 near miss cases. In overall they have 10 recordable incidents, but the organization Y they have 25. So it shows that the organization X is working more safely than organization Y. So this is a type of reactive monitoring by using the incident accident records data. Accident, incident, ill health, other unwanted events and situations like highlights areas of concern, how much observations raised them to rectify things that have already gone wrong, measures failure. Then the methods, lesson from the one specific event like an accident, we just collect all the data from that incident and then we develop a lesson learned. Like what happened, what gone wrong and how to sort it out. That is a lesson learned. Then statistics, what are the statistics? The number of accidents, number of danger occurrences, near miss reports, near miss numbers, ill health cases, workers complaints against the organization, against the health and safety system. Then enforcement action which is taken by the authorities against the organization. How many, how much. Then assist in analyzing. Yeah, this data which we have collected from the project or which the statistics are being maintained on the project, it helps to find us the trends, events over a period of time. Like we find that in 1 year which type of incidents happened more. Is it plant related, slip trip and fall due to housekeeping, poor housekeeping? Is it chemical related? Is it personal protective equipments related? So that is the trends, like which type of incidents are more happening in the workplace. Then it identify the patterns are like hotspots of certain types of injury, which type of injury the people are getting. So here we have group discussion. An organization had two sites carrying out similar operations. Company A has 300 workers and had 10 accidents. Company B has 150 workers and had 5 accidents. Which one is better in safety? Yes guys, which one is better?
Company B, sir,
How?
because we have less number of accidents.
Yeah, the company B have less number of accidents. Okay. So here we have just a moment. Here we have accident rate. How to calculate the accident rate? Number of accident during a specific period, like year, number of days, 365. Average number of workers during the same period. What is the average and multiplied by 1000? In this way you can calculate, you can find the accident rate. So use of statistics data may be, what are the problems or what are the issues which we face while using the data may be manipulated, maybe they didn't report accurately, they hide incidents may go unreported, sudden increase in reporting of incidents can suggest a decrease in performance, could be used to improve the reporting. This is the data issues. When we are taking data, we need to be careful and we need to check the following things. Other reactive monitorings often required during pre-tender qualifications, enforcement actions which often required during pre-tender qualifications. We need to check during selecting a contractor, pre-qualification tenders, which type of actions are being taken against them by the organizations, by the enforcement authority, by the clients or by the other stakeholders. Then civil claims, we need to check that how much claims, how much court cases they have. Maybe they have advertising campaigns, dissatisfaction with organization. Like all these things we need to check as a reactive monitoring. And what is meant by active monitoring? What is meant by reactive monitoring? Give example of active monitoring techniques. What topics could be considered in a general workplace inspection. This question number 4 is your assignment for today. You have to do that and send me, make a picture and send to me. What are accident rates used for? Why we use accident rate? To check the trends, to find the pattern. Then we have health and safety auditing. Audit is a very nice and very interesting and very important topic as well. In your workplace you need to audit many times, like it can be specific, it can be okay. The audit have two types, one is internal, one is external. But before that, I will explain you the definition of audit. Audit is a critical examination of the procedures, the documents and the workplace. It can be specific to one thing, like we are doing COVID audit. We can do the summer safety audit, arrangements in the summer. We can do the excavation audit, we can do the environment audit, we can do the fire safety audit, and we can do a general workplace audit. So audit is a systematic, objective and critical evaluation of an organization's health and safety management system. What is the difference between audit and inspection? Yes. Inspection is a random, no need to have a specific time, no need to have specific people to attend the site inspection. You can do anytime, anywhere in the workplace. But the audit, for audit you need to send a email, a formal communication, a letter or a formal way of communication required to set the audit date, and you need to mention that we are going to audit this sector, like we are going to audit your documents or we are going to audit environment issues on your workplace, and these people need to be available during the audit. These documents we need to check in the audit. So audit is a more systematic and critical examination which we are doing for the workplace. Between audit and inspection differences: audit examine documents, examine procedures, interviews of the workers, verify standards. Can be long process, 1 day, 2 days, usually expensive, yeah, because third parties or the external auditors are coming to audit the workplace, required high level of competence. This is audit. And in other side, inspection, it check the workplace, it can check the records. Usually it's quick because you can do only for one place. You just go and make an inspection report, no requirement to attend by the other parties. But in audit you cannot do alone, you need to have the both parties on board. And so it's a part of an audit. Pre-audit preparations. The following should be defined: time scale, as I mentioned, time scale, who will attend, what documents are required, auditor competence, time and resources of the auditors. These are the pre-audit preparations. And what will happen during the audit: paperwork, checking the documents and the records, interviews, interviewing the people, workers, managers at all levels, asking them what they are feeling on their workplace, what is provided to them, and observation, workplace equipment activities. The auditor, he can inspect the workplace, he can check any document, he can check any plant and equipment, he can check any welfare facilities, he can check the behaviors of the employees. Typical information examined during the audit: health and safety policy. During an audit, it's very important to inspect the health and safety policy, the risk assessments of the organizations which they have present there, then the training records, minutes of safety committee meetings, maintenance records, record of monitoring activities, accident investigation reports and data, emergency arrangements, inspection reports from insurance companies, visitors and workers compliance. These are the documents which we can check. Actually, when an auditor going to audit our workplace, he have the right to check any document relating to that audit. He can ask for the health and safety policy, health and safety manual, he can check the incident records, he can check the first aid cases, he can check the emergency arrangements, what emergency arrangement or which type of emergency procedure they have developed and implemented on the workplace. And then he can check that what is the document developed by the organization, is they are implementing on the site. Suppose in an emergency procedure, they define that and standby emergency vehicle will be available on the project 24 hours. But suddenly he just called to the emergency vehicle driver and he informed that he is away, he is out of the project for some other civil work. So like this he can check. He can ask the workers, he can take their interview, he can ask them to give complaint about the organization if they have any. So these documents can be checked. And on the end of audit, there is a verbal meeting, and this meeting is also happening in the start of the meeting, start of the audit. The auditor explains to the auditees are the organization to whom you are going to audit. You are going to audit, so you are auditor, and auditees are the peoples. You are being the peoples who are being audited, the peoples or the organizations. So in the start, the auditor gave a brief description, brief details, and also he give a verbal feedback, verbal session, like to the managers, these are the issues, these are the highlighted issues which we find during the audit. Then after that he write a complete and comprehensive report, including the findings, what he find, the recommendations, what he recommend the organization to do to close that issues, to fix these observations. Then he also mentioned the priorities and the time scale, like which observation or which issue need to be done on the priority basis, which and what time scale is required to in which time scale these observations need to be fixed. So next we have the responsibilities of the audit, the organization, external authorities. Okay, the one is the organization which is being audited, and the second is the external authorities, the auditors, the who are going to audit the workplace. So there are enforcement agencies, insurance companies, accreditation centers, the centers or the organizations which are approved by OSAS 18001 or ISO 45001. It is a responsibility of the management at all levels to ensure recommendations for improvement are communicated and implemented. Yeah, the organizations, the management or the employees, the workers who sit in the audit, who attend the audit session, it's their responsibility to communicate all the audits, observations and findings with all employees, so that the closeout can be done and it can be implemented on the within the whole organization. So external audit and internal audit, as I told you in the earlier two types, the advantages of external audit, they are independent, they are not under influence, because they are coming from out of the organization. They don't know, mostly they don't know the peoples, mostly they don't care about the peoples and the procedures. So fresh pair of eyes, they are fresh, they are not working on the same workplace, they are not tired from the same workplace, they are coming out for one time, for 1 day or 2 day, like after a quarter or after 6 months or after a year. And this is a wider scope, and experienced auditors are coming because they are third party and they are professional in that job, so they have a strong skill on audits. So experience of different types of workplace they have recommendations often carry more weight. The recommendations which they are given are getting more weight by the management, and more up to date with the law. They know everything about, they are more vigilant, and they know more about the legal requirements, more able to be critical. They are more able to be critical because they are not under influence of the management, they are not under influence of anyone. So the disadvantages are, it's expensive because we need to pay to the third party, it's time consuming because it's set a time and nobody can skip from that, may not understand the business, so make impractical suggestions. Yeah, here it's the competency of the auditor. If the auditor is not competent with the same business, maybe he cannot get the appropriate assessment, may intimidate workers, so get incomplete evidence. Yeah, maybe the language barriers, maybe he is not understanding the language and the problems of the workers, so maybe it give a wrong information and wrong evidences. So next is internal audits. It's less expensive because it's doing by the same department or by the other department, but within the same organizations. Auditors are already familiar with the workplace. Yeah, they know about the workplace because they are working in the same place, and they can see the changes since last audit. Yeah, because they are working there, so they can see that last audit they find 10 observations and this audit only they find 5 observations. So and then build competence internally. Yeah, it can give competence to the people who are auditing. Workplace more easy, they know everything about the workplace, they are familiar with the workplace and individuals, so they can ask good questions, they can ask questions frequently. And the disadvantages, maybe they don't notice some issues, maybe they just ignore, maybe they just under influence, maybe they just keep some area hidden, maybe they don't want to give an actual report, and maybe the auditors are not competent. So these are the disadvantages of internal audit. Okay, guys, let's we continue. Okay, yeah, correcting non-conformities. Major non-conformities, significant issues. They are like the auditors. They are highlighting and identifying the major non-conformances, major issues, significant issues, or we can say the more life-threatening issues. So then they are sending a letter. They can issue an improvement notice. They can issue a safety enforcement notice. They can issue a NCR like non-conformance report. Then organization's duty is to fix all these high priorities issues within the time frame. So they need to cover the less serious issues unlikely to result in injury or failure to management system observations, opinion given by the auditor. These all are the corrective actions are the and the correctings of the non-compliances. So here we have end of section quiz. Define audit. You have to give the definition of audit. What is the difference between audit and workplace inspection? It's very simple. What types of information can be examined during the audit? We already discuss about that. Okay, guys. Any questions so far?
Sir, I have one question about this accident and incident and near miss. What is the difference between this incident and near miss?
Okay, a near miss, a accident can be an incident. A LTI can be an incident. A near miss can be an incident. Incident is a general word to use to define it. But the near miss is a specific, like it's only a near miss. Near miss is specific for one thing, incident is covering everything in general. So guys, the remaining session of the remaining element 5 we will cover tomorrow because it's very important. So I want you to go through all of the slides and all the data we have provided to you in the shape of book. Go through the data and check everything in the elements up to so far we have covered. So the remaining we will cover tomorrow. Okay. Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any question now, later, tomorrow, after tomorrow, you can reach to me by email, by WhatsApp, by Zoom meeting. Ask me anytime and I will reply you. It's my responsibility to clear every doubt which you guys are facing. Okay guys, then we will finish our session. Have a good night. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay, sir. Allah Hafiz.